The sound of rotor blades tears through the humid air of Nepal. A helicopter descends like a mechanical beast, carrying a team of men who seem carved from the very history of war itself. They are not soldiers in uniform or men of duty. They are the Expendables, mercenaries, warriors, ghosts of the old world, where battle was personal and blood was a language. Barney Ross, Sylvester Stallone, sits in the front seat of a battered assault vehicle, his eyes cold and quiet. A man who has seen too much, lost too much, but keeps moving because stopping would mean facing ghosts that never rest. Beside him, Lee Christmas, Jason Statham, sharpens his blade, that calm smile on his face hiding a killer's instinct. In the back, Gunnar Jensen, Toll Road, and Hail Caesar joke and load their weapons, while the air hums with the calm before chaos. Their target? A heavily fortified base, deep in enemy territory. Their mission? Rescue a captured Chinese billionaire and destroy an arms operation. But like every mission for this crew, things are never what they seem. The Expendables move like a storm, silent, calculated, devastating. They crash through enemy defenses, mowing down soldiers with the kind of brutal efficiency that only experience can forge. The screen becomes a ballet of fire and fury. Explosions light up the dawn, bullets dance in the dust, and the team moves in perfect rhythm, like old lions that refuse to die quietly. But what defines this opening sequence isn't just the action, it's the chemistry. Stallone and his team operate like brothers, ribbing each other, laughing between gunfire, exchanging one-liners that break the tension. The camaraderie feels earned, real. It's not just another job, it's their way of life. And just as they complete the mission and save the hostage, they run into a familiar face. Trench Mauser, Arnold Schwarzenegger, another legendary mercenary. Their banter is pure cinematic joy. Two titans of 80s action colliding in a new millennium. "I'll be back," Trench growls. Barney smirks. "You've been back enough." The audience laughs, a wink to decades of cinematic history, to the golden era when muscle, grit, and courage ruled the screen. The weight of brotherhood. After the fiery mission, the team returns to their base of operations. Barney's private jet sits on a remote airstrip serving as their mobile fortress. Amidst jokes and drinks, they celebrate another successful mission. But under the laughter, there's weariness. These men aren't young anymore. Each scar tells a story, each bullet wound a reminder of how fragile their time is. Barney, sitting alone later, stares at a faded picture of old comrades. He's haunted by memories, the faces of men he couldn't save. Time has taken many of his brothers, and deep down, he knows the day is coming when it will take him too. Then, Church arrives, the man in the suit, cold, calculated, government-linked, and dangerous in his own right. He reminds Barney of a past debt. The CIA had a mission botched by one of their own, and now they want the Expendables to clean it up. "You owe me one," Church says, lighting his cigar. "I thought we were even," Barney replies. "You thought wrong." The mission: retrieve a mysterious object from a crashed plane in Albania before it falls into the wrong hands. Simple extraction, no killing, no politics, just a quick job. But Barney's instincts tell him nothing is ever that simple. To make sure they play by the rules, Church sends along an agent, a tech expert named Maggie Chan. The team is skeptical, a woman in their line of work, but Barney gives her a chance. Beneath his gruff exterior, he sees something of himself in her: competence, courage, and a hint of loneliness. The young blood, Billy the Kid. Before leaving for the mission, Barney is joined by a new recruit, Billy the Kid Timmons. He's young, sharp, and deadly accurate. A former sniper from the military, he joined the team seeking adventure and family. The rest of the crew treat him like a little brother. Gunnar teases him endlessly, Caesar tells him war stories, and Christmas becomes his unofficial mentor. Billy, for his part, idolizes Barney. He tells him he's ready to make this his life, the expendable life. But as they sit around one night, drinking by the campfire, Billy quietly tells Barney something that cuts deep. "I've got a girl waiting for me in Paris," he said softly. "I'm going to do one more mission, then I'm out. I've had enough of killing." Barney doesn't say it, but he understands. The kid has something to live for, something Barney lost long ago. And for a brief moment, there's peace, a rare calm before the storm that's about to break. The mission gone wrong. The next day, the team lands in Albania, parachuting into a dense forest near the crash site. They move through the shadows, guided by Maggie's intel. Inside the wreckage, they find the cargo, a small metallic device, a computer holding coordinates to a secret cache of plutonium buried during the Cold War. But before they can leave, everything goes wrong. A convoy of black vehicles surrounds them. Out steps Jean Villain, the leader of a deadly mercenary group known as the Sangs. Dressed in black, calm and deliberate, Villain radiates danger, a man who kills not for money, but for art. Barney Ross, he says softly, the man with no country, the man who fights for ghosts. Barney's hand tightens on his gun. You got the wrong job, friend. Villain smirks, stepping closer. No, I've got the right one. In a swift and shocking turn, Villain captures Billy. The Expendables are outnumbered, their weapons useless against the ambush. Barney tries to negotiate, but Villain doesn't deal in mercy. Life is cheap, but death must mean something. Before anyone can react, he drives a knife into Billy's chest, slowly, deliberately. The kid dies gasping for air, staring at his captain, whispering with his last breath, "It's okay, boss. I'm not afraid." Silence follows. The wind seems to die. The men stare, broken. Barney kneels beside Billy's body, rage boiling behind his eyes. For the first time in years, he feels something deeper than pain. Helplessness. Villain leaves them there, taking the device and disappearing into the wilderness with his men. Barney looks down at Billy's lifeless form and whispers, "You were the best of us." And just like that, the Expendables have a new mission. Not one of duty, but of vengeance. The breaking point. Back at base, the men gather in silence. The usually loud, joking crew is subdued. Gunner drinks quietly. Caesar punches a wall until his hands bleed. Christmas sits sharpening his knife, his jaw tight. Barney stands by the door, looking at the dog tags he took from Billy's body. His voice is low when he finally speaks. "We finish this. We go after Villain, and we end him. No pay, no backup, no orders, just us." They all nod. There is no debate. This is family. Maggie steps forward. "If we go after him, we'll be walking into hell," she warns. Barney looks her in the eye. "Then we make hell our home." And with that, the team prepares for war. A world of ghosts. Their hunt for Villain takes them deep into Eastern Europe, through forgotten villages, abandoned mines, and roads littered with the ruins of past wars. Everywhere they go, they find traces of Villain's cruelty, men executed, children orphaned, villages enslaved to dig for plutonium. The Expendables move like specters, freeing hostages, burning convoys, and gathering clues about Villain's operation. Each victory feels hollow, because Billy's absence hangs over them like a shadow. In one powerful moment, Barney and Maggie share a quiet scene in an old church. "You can't save everyone," she tells him softly. "I don't need to," he replies, "just the ones I can." It's one of the few moments of vulnerability the film allows. Stallone plays it with a quiet intensity that reminds viewers why he's not just an action icon, he's a storyteller. The lone wolf returns. As the mission grows deadlier, help arrives from an unexpected source. A lone figure steps out of the mist, his revolver gleaming, his eyes calm. Booker, also known as the Lone Wolf, makes his grand entrance in a scene that audiences worldwide still cheer for. He saves the team from certain death, wiping out an entire squad of enemy soldiers with impossible precision. When Barney asks how he managed to survive so long alone, Booker grins. "I once got bitten by a king cobra. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the cobra died." The men laugh for the first time in what feels like forever. The legends have united again.
Booker provides them with vital intel. Verlaine is storing the extracted plutonium in an abandoned Soviet mine, guarded by hundreds of mercenaries. It's a suicide mission. But for the Expendables, it's the only way forward. "We've all got to go someday," Barney says, loading his weapon. The screen fades to black with the sound of thunder and distant gunfire echoing, the promise of a final battle.
The storm clouds gather above the Balkan Mountains as the Expendables prepare for their final mission. The men move silently, weapons gleaming under flashes of lightning. The road ahead is suicide, a fortress guarded by hundreds, a mountain rigged with explosives, and one enemy waiting with the arrogance of a king. Barney Ross leads from the front, his expression unreadable. There's no humor left, no witty one-liners, only purpose. Beside him walks Lee Christmas, his blade sharpened to perfection. Hail Caesar carries enough firepower to level a small town. Gunner and Toll Road, both scarred and restless, march like men who have nothing left to lose. Maggie Chan stays close to Barney, not out of fear, but loyalty. She knows this mission is more than revenge. It's redemption, a way for these aging warriors to prove that their lives still mean something. Booker, the lone wolf, joins them for one last ride, his rifle slung casually over his shoulder. He's not part of the team, but he understands the code they live by. Once you've fought beside a brother, you're bound forever. As they reach the outskirts of the mine, Barney halts. He looks up at the jagged cliffs where Verlaine's men have set up artillery. Then he turns to his brothers, his voice calm and low. "We end this tonight." The battle begins. The silence before the first explosion is almost sacred. Then, in an instant, the mountain erupts in chaos. Grenades explode, tracer rounds streak through the darkness, and the air fills with the roar of machine guns. The Expendables descend upon the enemy like ghosts. Barney and Christmas flank the north side, cutting through guards with precision and speed. Caesar mows down a convoy with his AA-12 shotgun, each blast echoing like thunder. Gunner, the wild card, laughs through the firefight, throwing grenades with manic joy. Toll Road, the wrestler turned warrior, breaks necks and bones in brutal hand-to-hand combat. The choreography of destruction is almost poetic. The movie doesn't hide behind CGI or flashy effects. It's raw, grounded, and heavy. Every bullet feels real, every punch lands with weight. The men don't fight for glory, they fight for the memory of a fallen brother. As they push deeper into the mine, Maggie hacks through the old Soviet control systems, guiding them to the core, where the plutonium is stored. But Verlaine's forces tighten their net. The Sangs are relentless, fighting with fanatical devotion. In the chaos, Gunner is injured, Caesar runs out of ammo, and the team takes heavy fire. It seems hopeless until the rumble of engines echoes through the smoke. The arrival of Trench and Church. Out of the dust, a convoy of armored vehicles bursts forward. Leading them is Trench Mauser, Arnold Schwarzenegger, with Church at his side. The crowd in the theaters erupted when this scene hit the theaters. It was the dream crossover of generations. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Willis, shoulder to shoulder, blasting their way through enemy lines like gods of the silver screen. Trench smirks as he joins Barney behind cover. "You're welcome," he says, cocking his weapon. "You took your time," Barney replies. The alliance of these titans is not just fan service, it's a statement. It's cinema's way of saying the old guard still reigns. With the reinforcements, the battle turns in the Expendables' favor. Enemy after enemy falls. The mine tunnels echo with the symphony of destruction, gunfire, explosions, and the screams of dying mercenaries. Barney pushes forward alone towards the heart of the mine, towards Verlaine. The duel. When Barney finally finds Verlaine, it isn't in some grand hall or atop a burning mountain. It's in a dimly lit chamber filled with crates of plutonium. The two men face each other, reflections of the same creed but twisted in opposite directions. Verlaine represents greed, control, and cruelty, a man who kills to prove dominance.
Barney, though equally deadly, fights for something purer: loyalty, brotherhood, and justice. No guns this time, just fists, knives, and raw will. Their fight is brutal, not flashy, not choreographed for beauty, but primal and honest. Every punch carries years of anger, every block the memory of fallen friends. Van Damme's physicality is unmatched. His kicks are lightning fast, his movements graceful but deadly. Stallone's power is relentless, slow, crushing, unstoppable. They battle across the room, smashing through debris and steel beams. Barney is bleeding, battered, exhausted. But when Verlaine mocks Billy's death, something inside him ignites. With one final surge, Barney disarms Verlaine, turning his own blade against him. The sound of the knife cutting through air marks the end. Barney stands over his fallen enemy, chest heaving. He looks down, not with triumph, but with weary sorrow. That's for Billy. Then he turns and walks away, leaving Verlaine's body in the dust. Escape from the inferno. The mine is collapsing. Explosions ripple through the tunnels as the remaining Expendables fight their way out. Maggie and Caesar cover the exit, while Trench and Church drive the trucks loaded with rescued civilians. Barney barely makes it out, diving through the flames as the entire mountain implodes behind him. Dust and fire consume the horizon. When the noise finally dies, the team stands together, bloody, bruised, and alive. No cheers, no celebration, but quiet relief. The job is done. Billy is avenged. The aftermath. Back at their hangar, the men gather one last time. The mission is over, but the bond remains. They raise their glasses in silence for Billy. Maggie, who's grown close to Barney, thanks him for keeping his word. "You gave that kid justice," she says. "He earned it," Barney replies. In the corner, Christmas jokes about retirement, Gunner flirts shamelessly, and Caesar starts polishing his shotgun again. For a brief moment, it feels like peace, a strange kind of happiness only warriors can understand. Then Trench and Church walk in. "I have another job," Church says with a smirk. "You can keep it," Barney replies. "We're done." Church just laughs. "You're never done, Ross. You just rest between wars." The team bursts into laughter, that loud, chaotic brotherhood returning one more time. As the camera pans out, Barney looks at Billy's dog tags hanging in the cockpit of his plane. He smiles faintly, then starts the engines. The plane lifts off into the sunset, fading into clouds, a fitting image for men who live between heaven and hell.